Good morning. This is Mr. Johnson. Happy Tuesday. Today's going to be a little complex. We're going to be finding the total volume of solid figures composed of two non-overlapping rectangular prisms. So I know that's a lot of words, but basically what we're going to be doing is finding the volume of two different figures stacked on top of each other of different shapes. All right. So we'll be finding the volume of two different figures, and then we will be combining them to find the total volume of those figures. So we're going to be finding the total volume of the figures and record our solution strategy. So I'll be modeling A for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is, since we're working with two different figures, I'm just going to go ahead and give each one a letter. So I'm going to label the bottom one A and the top one B. So since A and B are both the same shape, the length and width are going to be the same for both. So you see at the bottom the length of 14 centimeters and the width of 3. It's going to, since they're the same shape, that's going to stay the same as you move up to figure B. Now the height for both, it says 5 centimeters. So we're going to have to combine them to find the total height of A and B all together. Because if each of them is 5, when you stack them together, that height is going to get taller. So you have to combine the two 5s to make 10. So when A and B are stacked on top of each other, they have a total height of 10 centimeters. So now we have all our information. We can go ahead and find our volume. We know that volume is length times width times height. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my numbers. I have a length of 14, a width of 3, and a height of 10. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I can multiply either 14 times 3 or 3 times 10. I'm going to go ahead and do 14 times 3. I know 4 times 3 is 12, carry my 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So now I have the area. I multiplied my length and width to get 42 centimeters squared. Now I'm going to multiply that by 10. I know 42 times 1 is 42. Add my 0 to make 420 centimeters cubed. So on my volume line underneath my two figures, I can go ahead and plug in my formula that I multiplied, 14 times 3 times 10, which I know is going to be 420 centimeters cubed. Now to my solution strategy was I combined the two heights, 5 centimeters plus 5 centimeters to get 10 centimeters, and then I just used the formula of length times width times height to find the total volume. B, we're going to be doing the same thing. Now you can see this one's a little bit trickier. We again have two figures, so I'm going to go ahead and label the bottom one as A and the top one as B. So when we have two different shapes, A and B, we need to find the volume of the two shapes separately and then combine them to find the total volume. So first I'm going to go ahead and find the volume of figure A. So we know again our formula for volume is length times width times height. And for this one they give us the length of A, that bottom line, is 15 inches. My width, they give us the width of 4 inches, and then they say figure A is 6 inches tall. So I plugged all those numbers in, length, width, and height. Now again, like I said, you can pick any two numbers to multiply. I usually go with multiplying my length and my width to start. 5 times 4 is 20, carry my 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So now I have found the area. It's going to be 60 inches squared times 6. I know that 6 times 6 is 36. I can add on my 0 to make it 360 inches cubed. Always want your units. Always want your answer cubed when you're working with volume. Always, always, always. So that is the volume of figure A. Now we're going to go on to figure B. So again, our formula is length times width times height. Now we have to figure out what our width is going to be. Okay, so the width is going to be actually the same as figure A, which is 4 inches. Now the length and height of figure A and B are different, but the width is the same. If you look at the width of A is 4, and then go up to where the width is of B, the width of A and width of B are exactly the same, but you can see that B is much shorter. The length is much shorter, so we have to figure out what the length is and what the height is going to be of B. So we know our width is 4 inches. Now, to find our length, they actually give us the length. They give us the length of 7, so we know now our length is 7. Our width is going to stay as 4, and they even give us the height of 3. So in this case, we didn't need to figure out too many tricky situations. With all those numbers, we're able to find very easily. So again, I'm going to go ahead and find my area first. I'm going to do 7 times 4, which is 28. Then I'm going to do 28 times 3. I know 8 times 3 is 24. I'm going to carry my 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So I know the volume of figure B is going to be 84 inches cubed. Always have your units. When working with volume, always want to make sure your answer is cubed. Now, I have to take these two volumes, a volume of figure A and the volume of figure B, and combine them. So I'm going to take 360 inches cubed, and I am going to add it with 84 inches cubed. To get a total of 444 inches cubed. So in my volume line up top, I can go ahead and write 360 inches cubed plus 84 inches cubed equals 444 inches cubed. So figure A and B, like we said, have the same width. So I used the volume formula of length times width times height to find the two separate volumes, and then we added the two volumes to find the total volume of A and B altogether. All right, we're going to work on number 2. Number 2 says a sculpture pictured below is made of two sizes of rectangular prisms. One size measures 13 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches, and the other measures 9 inches by 8 inches by 18 inches. What is the total volume of the sculpture? So now looking at this sculpture, I can see that there are two sizes of rectangular prisms. So I'm going to go ahead and label the similar sized rectangles. So I'm going to go ahead, these that look like this shape, I'm going to label them A. And then we have a little bit of a bigger rectangle. I'm going to label that as B. So volume A, I know that my formula is going to be length times width times height. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the measurements for volume A. It said it was 13 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is find my area, 13 times 8. I know that 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So my area would be 104 inches squared, and I'm going to multiply that now by 2. 4 times 2 is 8, 2 times 0 is 0, and 2 times 1 is 2. So the volume of figure A is going to be 208 inches cubed. But now we have more than one figure A, so I have to figure out how many A's there's going to be. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have 6 A pieces. So if 1 was 208 inches cubed, what would I have to do to find the total volume of 6 of those same pieces? I would have to multiply. So I'm going to take the volume of 1A and multiply it by how many pieces that are labeled A, which is 6. 8 times 6 is 48. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. And 6 times 2 is 12. So I know the total volume of all my A pieces is going to be 1,248 inches cubed. Now I'm going to go ahead and find the volume of figure B using that same formula of length times width times height. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my measurements of 9 inches by 8 inches by 18 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead and find, like I said, I'm going to find the area first. And I know that 9 times 8 is 72. So my area is going to be 72 inches squared. And then I only have to multiply that by my height of 18 inches. I know 8 times 2 is 16. I'm going to carry my 1. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 1 is 57. Now I have to put in my placeholder. No, it's a little bit of a throwback to multiplication. Got to have that placeholder. Now 2 times 1 is 2, and 7 times 1 is 7. Now I have to combine my two partial products. 6 plus 0 is 6, 7 plus 2 is 9, and 7 plus 5 is 12. So I know that the volume of B, of 1 of B, is going to be 1,296 inches cubed. But now I have to figure out how many figures that are labeled B are there. So I have 1 and I have 2. So I know there are 2 B pieces. So I need to take the volume I found of 1B and figure out how many 2 would be. So again, like before, I am going to take my original number of 1,296 and multiply it by 2. 6 times 2 is 12. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 1 is 19. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And 2 times 1 is 2. So the total volume of all my B figures is going to be 2,592 inches cubed. Now, the question is asking us what is the total volume of the sculpture. So I need to combine the two volumes to find the total. So I'm going to take the total volume of figure A, and I am going to add it with the total volume of figure B. 8 plus 2 is 10, carry my 1. 9 plus 4 is 13, plus 1 is 14. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 is 8, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So I know the total volume of the sculpture is 3,840 inches cubed. A fun fact for today: what is Mr. Johnson's middle name? Drum roll, please. It is Lucas. So make sure that you put that on your exit ticket so I know that you have watched the video full. All right, if any of you have any questions on the problem set, remember I will be going on Zoom at 10:30 in the morning and then also at 1 in the afternoon. You only have to attend one session. You don't need to attend them both. But if you have any questions on the problem set, make sure you bring them so I can help out anybody with anything they need. All right, everybody, have a good day.